So before we left in the last lesson, we said that if we have two straight lines, here is x, and here is the y-axis. You have one straight line, then you have another straight line. So here is the angle between the two straight lines, or you can say here is the angle between the two straight lines. So we said let this first line be L1. We said let the second line be L2. Right? And then the angle for this L1 is theta 1, and the angle for this L2 is theta 2. So all of that, I said that the angle here is theta, and tan theta is equal to the absolute value of m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. So this is the formula that I gave to you in the last lesson if you were actually in the class. So we're going to learn how to apply this this formula. The m1 is the slope of the first line, while the m2 is the slope of the second line, and theta happens to be the angle between these two lines. Now the first question, it says find the acute angle between 2y equals to 3x minus 8 and 5y is equal to x plus 7. So we have the first line. Let me call this line 1. 2y equals to 3x minus 8. Line 1 here. Now for line 2, we have 5y is equal to x plus 7. Now I said that you need to extract the slope of the first line and extract the slope of the second line. So let's extract the slope of the first line. Don't forget that to extract the slope of your line, your equation must be written in the form y is equal to mx plus c. But if you look at the first equation right here, you're going to see that the coefficient of y is not 1. So which means that there has to be some sort of modification. Now 2y equals to 3x minus 8. So to make the coefficient of y to be 1, we have to divide through by 2. Divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. And this gives y equals 3 over 2x minus 4. If you remember, we've done this before. And if you now compare that with y equals to mx plus c, you would realize that the slope of this line, m1, is equal to 3 over 2. We don't actually need the intercept. For the second line, however, we do the same, right? So 5y equals x plus 7. We need to make the coefficient of y here to be 1, so we divide through by 5. So we have 5y over 5 is equal to x over 5 plus 7 over 5. So y equals x over 5 plus 7 over 5. Remember that this can be rewritten as y equals to 1 over 5x, okay, plus 7 over 5. So when you extract, if you put that side by side with y equals to mx plus c, you would see that the slope of the second line is 1 over 5. So I can say that my m2 is equal to 1 over 5. That being said, we have our m1 and then we have our m2. Remember that our formula says that tan theta is equal to absolute value of m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. So let's start plugging in the values. So this means that tan theta is equal to, what is m1? That is 3 over 2. 3 over 2. What is m2? That is 1 over 5 minus 1 over 5. Then over, which is this over, then 1 plus m1 again is 3 over 2, okay, times m1, which is, m2, which is 1 over 5. So you can just put that in bracket, 1 over 5, close the bracket, and put the absolute sign. If you don't like the way we have written it so far, you can actually express this in decimal, and this is going to be 1.5, and this is also going to be 0.2. So instead of writing this, you can actually write it as 1.5 minus 0.2 over 1 plus 1.5 times 0.2. So whichever way you decide to go, you are fine. So let me start by simplifying the first one right here. Okay, so tan theta equals, tabashi on your calculator, alright, on your calculator you can now do 3 divided by 2 minus 1 divided by 5. That is going to give us 13 over 10. Then let's come to the bottom, over 1 plus 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 5 is 10 over 10. Now this is equal to 13 over 10 over, now when you add 1 plus 3 over 10 on your calculator again, you have 13 over 10 as well. Now we have 13 over 10 at the top, we have 13 over 10 at the bottom. That is equal to 1. They are divided. So which means tan theta is equal to the absolute value of 1. And absolute value of 1 is 1. Okay, so tan theta is equal to 1. Now it's theta we are looking for, right? So theta equals to arctan 1. That's it, which is 45 degrees. Now if you don't like the fraction part, you are very confused with this fraction of a thing, you can just stick with your decimal. I believe many people will be happy about that. You can stick with decimal, and what you are going to be having at the top here for decimal is going to be 1.3, which is a 1.5 minus 0.2 over 1 plus 1.5 times 0.2 is 0.3. Don't forget that there is a tan theta here. Now this is equal to the absolute value of 1.3 over 1 plus 0.3 is 1.3 as well. So we have tan theta equals 1.3 over 1.3 is 1. The absolute value of 1 is 1, okay? So theta equals arctan 1, which is 45 degrees. I want to believe this is clear. Now this is the first method, method 1. Let's call this method 1. So let me explain how to use the second method, method 2. Note that you are likely going to be finding the second method convenient to use, but I will personally encourage you to understand both methods. Now back to the explanation. So for the second method, you still have to repeat the process of extracting your m1 and m2. That is certain. So from 2y is equal to 3x minus 8 àti 5y is equal to x plus 7. O máa wá slope. Okay, so àti ṣe yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan, y is equal to 3 over 2x minus 8 over 2. So slope la need, we don't need the intercept. So m 1, which is the first line, is 3 over 2. The second one again, 5 not divide, I get x over 5 plus 7 over 5. So m2 OJ 1 over 5. Now, what you are going to do from here is, remember that we did something sometimes ago, that tan theta is equal to m, absolute value of m, if you remember. We did something like this. So, but in this case, we won't be using the absolute value of m. We'll just be using m directly. Alright? So, which means that I'm going to take off the absolute value. Okay. So, our tan theta for the first line is equal to 3 over 2, which is 1.5. Okay. So, the bashing here, theta is equal to arctan 1.5. So let me do that on my calculator. Arctan 1.5 is equal to 56.31. You keep that one. Okay. You now come here again for the second line. Okay. Tan theta is equal to m. In this case, is m1. In the second case, is m2. But actually, tan theta is equal to 1.1 over 5 is 0.2. So we're watching theta is equal to arctan 0.2. So theta is equal to arctan 0.2. Arctan 0.2 jẹ́ 11.31 degrees. Don't forget that this is for the first one and this for the second one. So to now get your answer, which is the theta that you are looking for, you will now say theta 1 minus theta 2. You now do 56.31 degrees minus 11.31 degrees. So if you subtract this one, you're still going to get 45 degrees. So it's either you use the first method or you use the second method. But if I ask you, you say you prefer the second method. So I want to believe this is clear. So let me pick another example again, okay, so that we'll be on the safer side. Please don't forget before I proceed that the question asks us to find acute angle. So acute angle is an angle that is just between 0 and 90, okay, and you see that the final answer we got is between 0 and 90, which is 45. Let's look at the second one. If you don't understand the first one, follow the second one now. Now, the question says that we should find the acute angle between the lines y. So we have a first line, y is equal to x plus 2. So for this one, you can see that the coefficient of y here is 1. So you don't have to divide anything again. So if you compare it with y equals to mx plus c, you will see that the coefficient of x here is 1. So m1 is equal to 1. For the second line, 3y minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So this is going to be equal to 3y equals, it might be root by x and y by x at 2 plus 2. If you divide through by 3, don't forget that this is 3 led by Kudadro. So you have y equals to x over 3 plus 2 over 3. Now, maybe by it will make way your m2 from here is going to be 1 over 3. Now, if you use the tan formula, that one that has tan, we have tan theta is equal to m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. What is m1? 1. What is m2? 1 over 3 over 1 plus m1 again is 1 times m2, 1 over 3. You can press this on your calculator, it will give you the answer. 1 minus 1 over 3, that will give you 2 over 3. Your calculator can do that for you. Over Now we have 1 plus, you do 1 times 1 over 3 first, but mass, this is 1 over 3. Now tan theta is equal to 2 over 3 over 1 plus 1 over 3 is 4 over 3. Now this is equal to 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 3 to 1 sale, 4 over 3. So I get 2 over 3 times 3 over 4, something like that. So in the end we have 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. Okay, so we have 1 over 2 absolute value. So tan theta is equal to 1 over 2 is 0.5. So theta equals to arctan 0.5. So if you have your calculator, arctan 0.5 is equal to 26.57 approximately. So this is the angle between the two lines. Now for method 2, remember that we have two methods. For method 2, since starting we pay M1, to consider method 2. Method 2. For method 2, since we know that M1 is 1 and M2 is 1 over 3, which is 0.33 on your calculator. So what you just do is, for the first line, tan theta is equal to 1. They calculate theta 1. So theta 1 is equal to arctan 1. What is arctan 1? 45. So theta 1 is equal to 45 degrees. For the second one, the same thing. Tan theta 2 is equal to 0.33. So theta 2 is equal to arctan 0.33. Let me do that on my calculator. Arctan 0.33 is equal to 18 points. So theta 2 is equal to 18.26 degrees. Now finally, I can use theta 2 clone theta 1. So I get theta is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2. So you have 45 degrees minus 18.26 degrees. So let me do that on my calculator. 45 minus 18.26, I have 26.74. Now you might be wondering why our answer is slightly different. The reason why it is slightly different is because of this 1 over 3 that is here, the approximation of this 1 over 3. If you can press your calculator quite well, very well, and you press arctan 1 over 3, you put that 1 over 3 inside the bracket, something like this. Load the calculator, you press something like this. Arctan, if you can do it, 1 divided by 3. If you put this on the calculator, your answer will be 18.43. This is what you are going to get. But because we have shortened this one to 0.33, that's why this is what we got instead of this. If you take 45 degrees minus 18.43, if you do it, you're going to see that your answer is going to be 26.57 degrees. I want to believe what I explained is clear. So excuse me. Okay, everyone is allowed to send message. So if you know you have questions, please ask. Should I take more examples? Of course, I will still have to take more examples. Okay, maybe I should just take another example. I think I came to this class with about 4 examples. So by the time we are done with the 4 of them, you will be fine. Alright, so again, the next one. We have x, first line, x plus 4y is equal to 12. The second line is y minus 2x plus 6 equals to 0. So we have to write this in the standard way. Okay, so we do 4y, I'm at bx loss by the minus in b minus x. 12 to 1 by is positive, so plus 12. We divide through by 4, abi? Right, let's divide through by 4. Okay, so we have 4y over 4 is equal to minus x over 4 plus 12 over 4. So y equals to minus x over 4 plus 3. Don't forget that your first goal is to extract the slope of the first line. Either you want to use method 1 or you want to use method 2. You have to extract the slopes. Okay, so fún eléyìí nsìn o ti rí pé minus x over 4 ni, so which means that your m1 in this case is going to be minus 1 over 4. That is settled. Let's go to this one. Y ma wà níbí báyìí. Take your 2x to the other side. It is negative. It is going to become positive. If this comes here, it becomes negative. So this one, no argument for this. All right. So y equals to mx plus c. If you compare, you see that m is equal to 2. Now, for the general method, for the tan formula, tan law, okay, the formula says that tan theta is equal to m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. Formula rẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe formula yẹn o rí bí juicy wàá mọ̀ ni. Right, so fún eléyìí, for those of you that are having issues with fractions, this your m1 is equal to minus 0.25. I want to believe that is settled. So this is for m2. So now all you have to do again is to plug in the values that you have. So let's plug it in. Now tan theta is equal to absolute value. M1 is minus 0.25. M2 is 2. So you have minus 2 over 1 plus M1 is minus 0.25. Minus 0.25. M2 is 2. So we write 2. Then the absolute sign. See, now we have tan theta is equal to, what you have on the top is going to be minus 2.25 over, okay, now from sale you're going to have 1 plus times minus minus 0.25 times 2. That is going to give you 0.5. Now this is going to be equal to minus 2.25 over 0.5 absolute value. Now tan theta equals to, let's divide 2.25 divided by 0.5. The answer I have here is 9 over 2. That is minus 9 over 2. But nítorí pé absolute symbol yìí ti wà ńbẹ̀, ó ti di 9 over 2 báyẹn, because minus yẹn máa lọ. So you have 9 over 2, which is 4.5 if you are the decimal type. Now tan theta is equal to 4.5. So which means that theta is going to be equal to arctan 4.5. What is arctan 4.5? It's going to give us 77.47 degrees. So that is the angle between the two lines that you have here. Again, you might be looking for the second method because this is the first method, that is the method 1. Now let's look at method 2. Method 2, or the second method. Again, I said, if you recall, that you must make sure you find your slope, whether you want to use method 1 or method 2. So for slope that calculated already, so I won't want to go through that again. M1 is equal to minus 0.25. M2 is equal to 2. Now, ẹ wá fi ara balẹ̀ níbi tá a dé dúró yìí. Ṣé rí method 2 yìí is a bit tricky. It is fine when both of your slope are positive. If you look at the first one that we did, let's come back up here, right? If you see that the M1 that we have here is positive, M1 is positive 1.5, M2 is positive 0.2. We can easily calculate this, and then we have our answer. If you look at the second example as well, M1 is positive, M2 is positive. Okay, we can easily use our formula and then subtract. That's what we did here. But in this case, one is positive and the other is negative, so you have to be very careful. So this is what you're going to do. Now, you still do your arctan the normal way you're going to do it. Remember that we said tan theta for the first angle is going to be equal to M1. So you have tan theta 1 is equal to minus 0.25. Lulobé, lórí calculator, but you calculator lulobé. Alright, so theta 1 is going to be equal to arctan arctan 0.25. Let me do that on my calculator here. Arctan 0.25. So this is going to be minus 14.04. Let's keep that one. For this one, we do the same thing. Omega tan theta 2 is equal to M2. But M2 to get 2. Okay, so you have theta is equal to arctan 2. Let me do arctan 2 on my calculator. Arctan 2, this is theta 2. Arctan 2 is 63.43 degrees. Now, please listen to me at this point. One is positive and one is negative. Though if you notice the way we've been writing it, we've been writing theta 1 minus theta 2. Right? That's why I said this method 2 is a bit tricky. Now, because one is negative and one is positive, I will advise you to put the positive first, 63.43 degrees. Then the negative should follow. But you know that there is always a difference. It's always theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, so minus 14.04 degrees. So you have 63 minus times minus is plus, then 14.04 degrees. So when you do that, you have 77.47 degrees, which is the same answer that we got here. I know the class is a bit tough. Yeah, I know it's a bit tough. It's not even a bit, it's quite tough for many. So yeah, so if you have questions, please ask. If you have questions, please ask. I'm going to open the chat room now, so that I'm going to see if we have questions, or if it is clear, then I just move on. Please, if you're asking your question, let it be straight, one at a time, please. Right, so if you have questions, let us start asking our questions. The mic is up. You can ask your question if you have. Unmute your mic and ask your question. No questions? Okay, since there are no questions, then I will have to proceed with our class. Again, I will still have to take another example. You see, I will take another example. So if you don't understand 1, 2, 3, 4, it means maybe you've just lost interest. So I'm going to use the 2 method again. So I'll first of all use method 2 now. Method 2 máa kọ́ lóhùn sí. Oya o, jẹ́ ká kọ́ lo method 2. Tó bá yẹ pé yẹn ló kọ́ yé yín. Oya o, the first line 1. Line 1 says 2x plus y is equal to 4. Line 2 sọ pé Line 2 says y minus 3x is equal to 7. You make y the subject of the formula. That's just the thing. Y is equal to, if I take 2x to the other side, it becomes minus 2x. Then plus 4. Because 4 is positive. Now, which means that if you extract now, y equals mx plus c, you see that your m1 is equal to minus 2. Let's keep that one. Let's now come to this side. This one, we need to make y the subject of the formula again. So y equals to, but minus 3 minus c by e. It's going to become positive 3x. The 7 is positive already, plus 7. So m2, which is the second line, is going to be equal to 3. Now, what I now said is, eléyìí ṣe òtún pé kan ti jẹ́ negative, kan ti jẹ́ positive. So eléyìí tó bá ti jẹ́ positive, tó bá ti get answer. Eléyìí tó bá ti jẹ́ positive náà ló máa kọ́kọ́ wà wájú, minus minus, eléyìí tó bá ti jẹ́ negative. So let's solve that first. Now eléyìí, a máa lo tan theta 1, because it's 1, is equal to minus 2. So theta 1 is equal to arctan minus 2. So I have my calculator here. Arctan minus 2 is equal to minus 63.43 degrees. Let's move to the second line. How to shape it? Tan theta 2 is equal to 3. So theta 2 is equal to arctan 3. And the calculator, kini arctan 3. Arctan 3 is 71.57 degrees. Now, if you are example. Now, what I said is, since this is positive, so your theta now is going to be 71.57 minus, this is negative already, minus. So the idea is take the bigger number minus the smaller number. Okay, so this is bigger than this one. So you have theta is equal to 71.57 degrees minus times minus is plus, then 63.43 degrees. So let me do that very quickly on my calculator. 71.57 plus 63.43. So the answer is 135. Method 2 yìí ó wà tricky tó bá farabalẹ̀. If you go back to the question, it said something. It says that we should find the acute angle between the two lines. And the answer that we got is not acute angle. This is an obtuse angle. This is 135 degrees. It's obtuse. So we need to make it acute. How do you make it acute? Just subtract what you get here from 180. So the acute angle is going to be equal to 180 degrees minus 135 degrees. This is equal to 45 degrees. So that is how that second method works, which seems to be a bit direct, except for little explanations that you have to make when you are getting negative answers. So fún method oní tan yẹn, I know that many of you don't want to hear about it. That's M1, M2, but I will still use it. There's nothing you can do. I'll use it. So that one that I have tan, it's going to be tan theta is equal to M1 minus M2 over 1 plus M1 M2. So M1 at calculated already is minus 2. M2 has been calculated already as 3. That has been sorted over 1 plus M1 is minus 2. M2 is 3. So I'll just multiply them together because of time. So minus 2, face bracket times 3. Now, minus is it minus 5 now? Yeah. Minus 5 over, this is 1, minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. So tan theta is equal to minus 5 over minus 5. Kí ni minus 5 by minus 5? Ó ṣe 1. Àbí? Ó jẹ́ 1. Absolute value of 1 is still 1. So theta is equal to arctan 1. Arctan 1 is equal to 45. That's the answer. That's the second method. That's why I will always recommend this tan formula over this one. This one will take you there directly. It will give you the answer directly. But this one, it is easier to work with, but it may not take you to the acute angle. It may take you to the obtuse angle. So that's it. So for the 4 questions, I have used both methods, and you can see that both methods give us the same answer. So we have 20 minutes left. So if you have any questions now, please ask before I proceed to the last part of equation of straight line, because after this class is meant to be the end of equation of straight line. So if you have any questions, please ask before I proceed. You can ask in the comment section, or let me take off the microphone again so that you guys can talk. Please, if you have something to say it, and after class chatting I will not be able to answer your question after the class chat. So ask your questions now if you have, and if you don't, let me proceed to parallelism and perpendicularity. No questions? Okay, someone said the 2 methods Adeyemo said the 2 methods are easy. It's just our mindset from the outset. Okay, any other question? No remark, no comments? It's just my mindset from the outset. Lie, man, that's a one wrap. Any questions? No questions? Please, if you have questions, talk. Rosemeat and Azan, Oyemi, stop raising up your hand. If you have questions, ask. No questions. Okay. Since there are no questions, Famoriyo Olayemi, why question 4 solving is different? It seems you are not following us. How are they different? I explained that the method of using tan, 2 tans, tan 1, tan 2, and then the answer you subtract from each other, sometimes may not give you a direct answer. So but this one, to the absolute value tó wà níbí báyìí, you will always get the direct answer. So the worst that could happen for this one is to get a negative. Look at what is happening here. You have negative, but nítorí pé absolute sign ti wà níbí báyìí, it's going to turn the negative value to positive, and you are going to get your answer. So since no one is talking, I still just, what if both are negative? What if both are negative? Yes, if both are negative, all right, let's say after your calculation you got minus 30 for one, and the other one you got minus 20. All you just have to do is, like I said, subtract the smaller one from the larger one. Let's say you have a minus 10 degrees, and then you have minus 20. Everyone in this class, you know that minus 10 is greater than minus 20. So it's going to be minus 10 minus minus 20 degrees. So minus times minus will be plus, and your answer is going to be 10 degrees when you do that. So are there situations where we'll be asked to use only one method, as in the question will be quite selective? No question will be selective about the type of method to use. Okay, but again, if I am to recommend the formula you are going to use, I would always recommend this one. Okay, if you have problem with fractions, convert them to decimal first, and then plug in the values. So thank you very much. Since there are no questions, let's move to perpendicularity and parallelism because of our time. Okay, so if two lines are parallel, it means they have the same slope. I have started teaching you, so please pay attention. Okay. So let's say we have two lines. This is the first line, and we have a second line. So it is the second line. Now, these two lines are said to be parallel. We are assuming that the two lines are parallel. One thing you should know if two lines are parallel is that their slope are always the same. So let's call this L1. Again, let's call this L2. So the slope of L2 will be M2, of course, and the slope of L1 will be M1. Now, tí line méjì bá parallel, I repeat, if two lines are parallel, it means that their slope are the same, or you can say that their slope are equal. So I can say that M1 is equal to M2. This is parallelism. Now, on the other hand, if you have two lines that are perpendicular to each other, we have 15 minutes. I must finish this topic. I'm not going back to this topic after today. So why in the next? Okay. So tí line méjì bá perpendicular sí, or perpendicular síra wọn, ká nìkan lọ báyìí. Perpendicularity, ó túmọ̀ sí pé angle tó wà láàrin méjèèjì 90 ni, kan náà lọ báyìí. So eléyìí ká pè eléyìí náà ní L1 again, ká pè eléyìí ní M1. Then eléyìí tó wà ní white yìí L2. Then let's call the slope M2. I won't want to go into much technicality because of confusion. All you just have to know is that if two lines are parallel, the slope of the first one, M1, will be equal to the negative inverse of the second slope. So later we go with M1 equals to 1 over M2. Okay, M1 equals to minus 1 over M2. Ìyẹn ni pé, for this parallelism, if the first line has a slope of 8, the second line is going to have a slope of 8. So bá ti rí equation méjì, for instance, in y is equal to 8x plus 4 and y is equal to 8x minus 2. These two lines are parallel actually because their slope are the same. Intercept ló kàn yàtọ̀. This is 4 and this is 4. So if you look at this, mx plus c, you see that m this is 8, m, this is 8. So the two lines are parallel. But for perpendicularity, if the slope of one line is 2, the slope of the other line will be 1 over 2. That's all. Just change it. If the slope of one line is 2 over 3, the slope of the other one will be minus 3 over 2. Yani pé 3 yẹn máa lọ sókè, 2 máa wá sísàlẹ̀, wá dẹ̀ já negative sí. So that is that. I want to believe that that is clear. So let me just write it under it if you are going back to the notes. So this is for perpendicularity. So let's take the first one. First example. Find the equation of the line through. Now, once up way, ká wá equation line. At any line can already. For instance, let me use this as an example. We have a line already. Okay. Let's say this is the line of 2x minus 3y equals to 4. They now say that you should find the equation of another line that will be parallel to this line, but it is going to be passing through 1, 2. Ìyẹn ni pé ọ̀tọ̀ níbi tó ń gbà lọ. Okay, bóyá bí báyìí ló ń gbà lọ ní tiẹ̀, bóyá bí tí 1, 2 wà lélẹ̀, ó wá gbàbẹ̀ lọ. But wọ́n sọ pé bó ṣe gbàbẹ̀ lọ yẹn o, ṣáà make sure pé ní kó má gbàbẹ̀ lọ, but make sure pé slope 2x minus 3y yìí equals to 4 yìí nǹkan kan náà ni pẹ̀lú line yìí. So wọ́n wá ní ká wá equation line yìí. So that's what we are trying to learn. So let me explain that very quickly. So what you are going to do is this. You take your equation of straight line is equal to 4. So the same kineta manche, right? Make y the subject of the formula. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé, gbàtó jẹ́ pé lè ní nǹkan ló ní negative, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé minus 3y yẹn wá sí bí báyìí, kí 4 lọ bá mi báyìí. So jẹ́ 2x minus 4 is equal to 3y. Divide through by 3. 2 over 3x minus 4 over 3 is equal to y. Now, y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 4 over 3. Now, kí la fẹ́ fi ṣe? A fẹ́ extract the slope yẹn jáde kúrò ńbẹ̀. Don't forget that this is where I started. A fẹ́ yọ slope yẹn jáde kúrò ńbẹ̀. So àgbẹ̀lú wa ti mọ bá ṣe ń yọ slope kúrò nílé. So the slope here is 2 over 3. Slope yìí, this slope is now what you are going to use with this point. Don't forget when we learned how to find the equation of a straight line given the slope and a point. So now, our transfer is okay, through 1, 2. So this should be x1, y1. So you now have m is equal to y minus y1, the boundary formula x minus x1. What about one class? So your m now is 2 over 3 equals y minus y1 over x minus 1. Cross multiply. 3 times y minus 2 is equal to 2 times x minus 1. So you have 3y minus 6 is equal to 2x minus 2. Will it be y at x set by around? I want to pick this 3y. I want to take it to the other side. And I want to take this minus 2 to this side. So I have minus 6 plus 2 is equal to 2x minus 3y. This is what I did though, because I know that some people are confused already like that. I took this one to this side with the plus 2. Then I now took this 3y to the other side. Only the minus. So you have to clear by. Now this is going to be minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 3y. So you can write this as 2x minus 3y is equal to minus 4. So that's the answer. That's the answer. There is another method you can use, but I will not teach that second method. Is a very bad practice if I teach you that second method, because it's not really acceptable. Not really, the examiner will not mark it for you. I don't think so, but it's very good in objective. So maybe when we are revising this topic, we can go to that. All right, let's look at another one again. X minus y equals to 1. The first thing ẹ máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe ni pé ẹ máa kọ́kọ́ extract the slope ẹ̀ jáde. Make y the subject of the formula. y negative fún mi báyìí tó bá dé bí báyìí á di positive, so x minus 1 equals to y, excuse me. Okay, so y equals to x minus 1. So tẹ́ bá compare pẹ̀lú y equals to mx plus c, ẹ rí pé coefficient x ní báyìí 1, so m is equal to 1. Nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ mú mọ́ parallel ni, so which means that the slope must be the same, alright? So m1 must be equal to m2. Òun náà la ṣe mú 2/3 tá fi lò mí báyìí. So which means that you have your m equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. What is m? 1 equals y minus. Don't forget that it is through 2,3. 2,3. So this is x1, y1. Kí ni y1? 3. X minus, kí ni x1? 2. Cross multiply, this is over 1. Y minus 3 is equal to x minus 2. It's done. Y is equal to, mo lè gbé minus 3 lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn, x minus 2 plus 3. Ó jẹ́ y equals to x plus 1. So that is it. Tó bá padà wò náà, if you look at it very well, if you study it very well, you see that y is equal to x plus 1. The slope is 1. And if you look at this one too, y is x plus 1. Wà á rí pé slope yìí báyìí náà 1. Eléyìí kan jẹ́ intercept ló kàn yàtọ̀. Ibi tó ń gbà kọjá ló yàtọ̀, but wọ́n parallel. This minus 1 is like ibi tó gbà kọjá. Eléyìí lọ gbà bí minus 1 kọjá. So tẹ́ bá yà lórí graph, á rí báyìí. Ká ní 1 rí, ká ní minus 1 rí. Ìkan gbà bí tí 1 wà lọ, ìkan gbà bí tí minus 1 wà kọjá. So that's the idea. Now tó bá jẹ́ pé perpendicular ńkọ́, ọjọ́ ti lọ fà. Tó bá jẹ́ pé perpendicular ńkọ́, the process yẹn náà is almost the same. Take your straight line, 2x minus 3y is equal to 4. After doing that, make your y the subject of the formula. Take your eléyìí ní negative gbé wá síbí báyìí. Divide through by 3. Èyí jẹ́ 2/3 x minus 4/3 is equal to, tẹ́ bá fi 3 divide 3 lè máa jẹ́ y. So y is equal to 2/3 x minus 4/3. So if you extract the slope here, m will be equal to 2/3. Now ṣe pa fẹ́ lo m, but question sọ pé it is perpendicular. It is perpendicular. And if it is perpendicular, m1 must be equal to minus 1 over m2. So don't stress yourself if it is a fraction. It means that the slope you are not going to be using now, the perpendicular slope will be, since tó ti jẹ́ pé inverse, ó kàn máa jẹ́ minus 3 over 2. That's the idea. I don't want to complicate the issue for you. Minus 3 over 2 yìí ni wàá wá lò pẹ̀lú 1,2. So this is x1, y1. So m is equal to y minus y1 over x minus x1. M tuntun tá ń lò is minus 3 over 2. Then y minus y1 is 2. X1 is 1. So you cross multiply and then you are fine. So let me get 2 times y minus 2 is equal to minus 3 times x minus 1. So we get 2y minus 4 is equal to minus 3x plus 3. So let me just complete it on this side. So mo fẹ́ gbé bó bá ṣe wé ni o, mo fẹ́ gbé minus 3x yìí wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ 2y. Ó máa di 2y plus 3x. Mo wá fẹ́ gbé minus 4 yìí lọ sọ́dọ̀ 3. Mo bóyá yẹ báyẹn. Á jẹ́ 3 plus ó jẹ́ 7. So this is the equation of the line perpendicular to this line. Fún question eléyìí, for this final question, I believe it should be the final question. Yeah, it's the final question. So for this final question, nǹkan méjì là ń béèrè. Àwọn nǹkan tá a ti ṣe náà ni. Wọ́n kàn ní fún question yẹn ká ṣe parallel, ká dẹ̀ ṣe perpendicular. So let me just do the perpendicular part. Okay. Kẹlẹ́ máa ṣe parallel bí ẹ̀mí bá ṣe darí yín. So take the equation first. 2x minus y equals to 4. Make y the subject of the formula. Y equals to 2x minus 4. I have done that already. So m is equal to 2. So we cannot use this slope directly because we are working on perpendicularity. Perpendicular. Alright, so m tá máa lò ń bí báyìí, okay, ẹ ká pè ní mp, m perpendicular, ó máa jẹ́ inverse ilé á jẹ́ 1/2, àwa ní minus. tó bá yẹ pé m yìí tọ́pọ̀ ní minus ni, tó yẹ pé bóyá ilé jẹ́ -2, ṣé olùgbà tó bá fi máa dé bí báyìí á di mp is equal to ṣe mọ̀ pé 1/2 àbí, but minus kan ti wà nílẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ tó yẹ kó wà ń bẹ̀ normally, minus kan náà kan ó dẹ̀ ti ń bọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, so minus times minus ó máa di plus, so answer máa jẹ́ mp equals to 1/2, so nǹkan tó máa lò nìyẹn. Alright, so let me quickly solve the problem because of time. Right, so m equals y minus y1 over x minus x1 is true 0,3. So this is x1, this is y1. M is minus half equals y minus 3 over x minus 0. So double cross multiply. 2 times y minus 3 is equal to x minus 0 is x. X times minus 1 is minus x. So you have 2y minus 6 is equal to minus x. You can leave it like this, or if you don't like, you can bring the minus x to come and meet 2y. So you have 2y plus x equals to, and I take the minus 6 to this side of 6. So that's it. Yeah, the class has ended. If you have any question, any remark, because we have just 2 minutes left, the class has ended, and in fact, the equation of straight line has ended, coordinate geometry has ended. So, probably